Love him or loathe him, and there are plenty of reasons for both, Genghis Khan was undeniably one of the most impressive figures in world history, yet he's somehow most famous today for his sex life. The chances are you've been told at some point that some surprisingly large percentage of the population is directly descended from old Genghis himself. But is it true? The history of this factoid goes back nearly 20 years, to a groundbreaking 2003 historical genetic study. When sampling DNA from 16 populations across Asia, researchers were surprised to find out that nearly 1 in 12 men on the continent shared an unusual Y chromosomal lineage, one that they likely said came from Genghis Khan. Statistical analysis ruled out the Y chromosome lineage turning up by chance. So if it wasn't chance, what else could it be? Simple biological selection, the result of one impossibly sexy man that roamed around the Mongolian steppe all those years ago? Again, it's possible, but highly unlikely. Genghis Khan and his sons and grandsons after him were considered genetically fit, not because he was strong or good at hunting necessarily, but because he was Khan. The populations his armies conquered were often slaughtered en masse, decimating the potential gene pool for future generations. And, importantly, the family line continued to rule large areas of Asia as late as the mid-19th century by some measures. In other words, the genetic line showed about 8% of men in the region of the former Mongol Empire, and therefore about 1 in 200 worldwide, shared one single male ancestor. And based on a combination of logic, statistics and common sense, that ancestor was almost certainly Genghis Khan. Khan married his first and principal wife Bort, but would then go on to take 6 more throughout his life. As well as these ladies, legend has it that he also kept as many as 500 concubines, often noble ladies and princesses from conquered tribes and lands, and fathered a similar number of children. Popular though that story is, it's completely unverifiable. Because of Mongol custom, Genghis likely only recognised his 4 sons by Bort as legitimate heirs, though it was plausible that the Khans would have had so many children. As prolific as the Khan legacy is, it is not unmatched. A 2005 study found another Y chromosomal lineage also in Eastern Asia, which was present in around 1 in 30 men sampled. This lineage, the researchers worked out, started around 500 years ago, right around the time China was undergoing a seismic political change known as the Ming-Qing transition. And later, in 2006, researchers found another noticeably widespread Y chromosome lineage, this time stretching from Middle East to the western coast of Ireland, where as many as 1 in 5 men were found to share the genetic signature. The legend that has grown up around the study has him as Nile of the 9 Hostages, a semi to completely mythical 5th century king. But while it's a pretty tempting origin myth if you've Irish blood in you, we should point out that the conclusion is not without controversy, and that one of the researchers behind the study said that he was as surprised at finding evidence that Nile existed as he would have been to learn that King Arthur had been real. None of these mega-patriarchs come close to Genghis Khan's output though. At least we don't think so. Because of course there's one problem with saying that 16 million people are direct descendants of Genghis Khan. We don't actually have any DNA from the Khan himself. Thank you for watching IFL Science. Please subscribe for more science videos.